Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Sam's33 here, and welcome to another Pokemon TCG battle video. And today we have, on the right, me, of course, your one and only, with my Virizion Genesect deck. And on the left we have Quintin with his Team Plasma deck. Now, let's get a little backstory on Quintin, not really backstory, but a little background on Quintin here. He's a junior player, but he's quite good of a junior player. He started playing around city championships in 2013, and since he is from just starting then, he has qualified for the world championships through getting the 400 points, which is quite amazing actually. He's quite definitely a good player, and he also made top 8 at Worlds, so definitely very good player. No doubt about that, especially for the junior division in his first year. And here we're gonna start this game. This isn't in a tournament or anything. This is just for fun. I want to record some more games, so yeah. Here I start off with a Virizion EX and an attachment. Very good start from me. My opponent Quintin starts with an Absol, which is not a very good starter, especially if I don't bench very many Pokemon very early on, because Absol's attack does 20 damage plus 20 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So the more I bench, the more it does. So I'm not going to bench that many early on. So this Absol is not going to help him very much in these early turns. Otherwise, it's a very good attacker otherwise, but not when you start with it. And you see here, I'm going to play it N. So what I'm going to be looking for is probably a Genesect, maybe a Hypnotoxic Laser and Verbank, because I do play those in this list. Definitely Supporter, Energy. All I need is for next turn. All I need is to set up things for next turn. So Grass Energy, Genesect, stuff like that. So we're going to draw 6 here from N. See if I get any of that stuff. So this matchup is a bit of an interesting one. It's not. I don't run Drifblim in this current list, which is kind of not good. It's Drifblim is usually what you need to be Plasma. If you don't have Drifblim, it's usually a lot tougher of a matchup. But the lasers are quite helpful against Kyurems. You can simply use a Burbank, a laser, and a Megalo Cannon to knock out a Kyurem. So those things can't just steamroll you completely, but it's still a difficult matchup. Here we see Quintin benches one of those Kyurems and plays a Skyla. So it looks like not a very good turn for him. What it looks like, at least. He might be getting a Colress Machine, or no, he's getting a Float Stone. Possibly he wants to attack with Kyurem this turn as opposed to Absol, which is understandable. Let's see if he has a way to attack this turn. He's going to play an Ultra Ball as well, so maybe he's discarding a Plasma Energy, so maybe he's getting a Thundurus EX with this. That could definitely be it, what's happening. He could use the Raiden Knuckle to get energy. No, Keldeo EX is what he's getting, actually. So, this is a little interesting. Got the Keldeo EX, he's probably going to put the Float Stone out, probably because he doesn't have much else to do on this turn. He probably has a Supporter as well, otherwise I feel like he would have Skylit for a Supporter. And what's interesting is that Keldeo is not something you usually want to bench in this matchup because it is weak to grass. So if you bench it, it will definitely be a liability later on. If you don't bench it, you could run into problems with using Blizzard Burn back-to-back since the deck doesn't run that many switching cards. But for the most part, I think you'll be fine if you don't bench Keldeo. But it looks like Quintin doesn't really, he doesn't think that's an option. He wants to use the Blizzard Burns back-to-back and doesn't want to be catcher stalled. He probably doesn't run very many switching cards. So my guess is he just wants to use this, get it out now, so it doesn't get hit by a Megalo Cannon later. Well, I mean, it probably will, but it's going to happen if he benches it no matter what, and he feels he must bench it at some point. Excuse me, he must bench it at some point, so benching it now isn't a bad idea. And here I'm going to play catcher on the Kyurem. I'm probably going to hit it with an Emblem Slash as well. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to get the damage on the Kyurem, and then put energy on my Genesect EX, just because Kyurem is so deadly in this matchup compared to everything else. Blizzard Burn is something you can't really avoid. It just does 120 damage and knocks you out, and you rat energy. That's about it, the extent of that scenario. So I just want to soften up this Kyurem in case he does try to power it up. And he also is going for a catcher here on the bench Genesect EX, probably trying to stall. He doesn't have very many ways to attack, so hitting this bench one is there's catching up and forces me to have a switch. or Floatstone or Sky or Bridge or something. I actually do only run 4 Switch in this deck list. So I think this is the same deck list I used, or I posted to my Virizion Genesect deck analysis video thingy bobber. So you should, if you check out that list, check out that video to see the deck list for this that I'm using. I don't know Quintin's deck list. I don't have it, so you're just gonna have to speculate. I don't see too much special. It seems like just a standard plasma deck with an Absol, which isn't very special at this point. And I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Oh, it looks like he drew too many cards off of the chorus. Yeah, he drew 6 instead of 4. So I'm just gonna shuffle 2 of them in. He also benched those 2 Deoxys after playing the chorus, so put those back in his hand, and then I chose 2 random ones and shuffled them back in. And he also has the chorus machine, so this is not a bad turn for Quintin at all. He gets another. His first turn was kind of bad, but this turn is definitely much better. He's gonna be able to use Frost Spear and hit something on the bench to get some damage on the field, and I'm going to need an energy and a switch to be able to attack with my Genesect and knock out his Kyurem. If I don't do that, I can get hit with a Blizzard Burn next turn, which will be painful, to say the least. And now, I think this is going to be the end of Quintin's turn. He's just going to use the Frost Spear. What he hits with the 30 is a little interesting. He might want to hit the thing with the energy, the Genesect. That's probably the better move, but something that he could have done is hit the Virizion, because that is resistant to water, which makes it harder for Kyurem to knock out. So if he tries to use Blizzard Burn on it, it won't work in that situation. Here I'm going to play a Hypnotoxic Laser. I do play 4 of those, so I'm going to use it on this Kyurem. I can possibly, if I draw a Verbank, I can use Emerald Slash and knock it out and be able to get some more energy on the field, which will be very good for me. But the problem is both my Genesects are softened up, which could open them to be knocked out by an Absol or just by multiple moves later on. Possibly a Helix Force and Raiden Knuckle or something like that. So the softened up Genesects, I'm going to need to draw another Genesect eventually, most likely, if I want to be able to survive. Because if these Genesects both stay as they are, I could be in for some trouble, because they could just both be one shot, much easier than Genesects with maximum HP. So it looks like I have a Genesect prize. I'm just going to play a town map, and it is prized, and also G-Booster is prized. So quite terrible prizes for me, honestly. I think I only won 3 Genesects in this list. And let's see if I got the switch here to knock out this Kyurem. I did get the switch. So now this Kyurem is going to feel the pain of the Megalo Cannon. And I'm going to take 1 prize. Let's see what I'm going to take with this prize. I'm probably going to take my G-Booster just because it's so valuable of a card. Yeah, definitely. I could have taken the Genesect to power that up at some point, but I think the G-Booster is more important. And now Quintin has quite a monster turn here. He has an Absol, a Prism, and then there's 3 Deoxys and a Verbank, a Silver Bangle. And looks like Absol now does enough to knock out this Genesect, which is quite painful for me, which is what I was talking about earlier, about how this could happen. It get 1 shot. It could get 1 shot, excuse me, which is not very good. The one on the bench is also in danger of the same thing happening, which is very bad. He's going to play an N, get rid of my G-Booster. I probably want to save that G-Booster for later anyway. If I put it down, he's probably just going to Tool Scrapper it. So let's see how this next turn plays out. I'm going to play an N. He played the N, and we're both. He's going to draw 6 cards, and I'm going to draw 5. But he will be ahead on prizes once this turn is over, and I won't have a way to take prizes myself. So I probably won't have a very good next turn. I'll probably just have to use Emerald Slash to get some more energy in play. And there we see Quintin's top 8 hat from Worlds. Just wanted to show that off. It's kind of thing to be proud of, just to have that nice shiny hat that says top 8. Pretty cool. So anyway, Quintin doesn't really need anything this turn. Probably another Kyurem, or it looks like it has another Absol as well. That is also a good thing to have. In this situation, Absol is a good attacker against my deck. Deoxys and Thundurus are, I'd say, worse than Absol in this matchup. This is definitely not Absol's favorite matchup, because I can very easily keep my bench low. All I really need is one Virizion and two Genesect. But as you see, I benched that other Virizion, so that could be a pain when dealing with Absol's Mind Jack, which benching that Virizion can increase Mind Jack's damage, which is very bad for me. I probably should have thought ahead on that one. It is very interesting that Quintin runs 2 Absol. Usually the standard is 1 or possibly 0, but 2 is definitely not a bad option either. It's a very strong Pokemon, especially against the Mirror Match, which can be very popular in a lot of situations. He's going to play Getsis. I'm going to play Getsis, and I have no I have no trainers in my hand, which is what am I saying? He has no trainers in his hand, which is bad for me because I just drew no cards. But hopefully I'll have something in my hand to work with. If that was my only supporter, that would be very bad. If I had another supporter and nothing else in my hand, I probably would have played the other supporter. Oh wait, looks like Quintin forgot to take his prize, and one of his prizes, and he gets to show it to me because I did play that Getsis, so it was just a call risk. So I still don't get any cards, which is kind of disappointing. Let's see what I have here. I want to power up this Genesect, but at the same time it's damaged. Oh, that's very good. Plasma Energy, and I'm going to use Red Signal to bring up the Keldeo. And then I'll be able to hit that with Emerald Slash. And here you see I switched the fake Genesect for the real one just to make it easier for you guys to see. Then I'm going to hit it with Emerald Slash for 100. Now this sets up an attack later where I can use Emerald Slash again on this Keldeo to knock it out. I probably will be forced to use another Emerald Slash at some point. This Genesect could easily go down, especially considered he has 2 Absols powered up, which will easily be able to take out my Genesect. So I may just be having to use Emerald Slash next turn as well, which will not be very good. So I have a Genesect powered up, but it does have a lot of damage on it. He's going to play a Skylo. Let's see what he's going to get here. He might be getting a catcher to catch up the Genesect and hit it, and that's exactly what he's going to do, bring up the Genesect, because it is the main threat here right now. It has all the energy. It's the most powerful attacker. It could easily just get a G booster and start wrecking havoc anytime it wants. So he wants to take that out. But looks if we count up the damage, let's see how much it does. Let's see. Mind Jack does 60. Then Silver Bangle plus 3 Deoxys at 60 more, so that's 120. So that will leave my Genesect at 160, which is not quite enough to knock it out. Hopefully later he'll be able to use Frost Spear and hit it on the bench to knock it out, and as well as do a lot of damage to something else. But that may not be an option considering he's used a lot of Colress machines and he has to power up. He has mostly Absols on his field. But yeah, now my only big attacker is Genesect, and it has a bunch of damage on it. That is not good. I need to start taking prizes now. And my main attacker is... one of them's dead and the other has tons and tons of damage. And my other one's prized, so... I may have to use Super Rod or maybe something else. It looks like, oh, never mind. I thought I might have just used Megalo Cannon there, which would have been a very bad turn for me, but it looks like I'm deducing what prizes I'll have to take to win this game. My guess is what my prize plan is going to be. 1 Absol, the Keldeo on the bench, and then like a Deoxys or Thundurus or something if he benches it. I definitely don't want to knock out those 2 Absols because that will be a lot slower, and if he powers up another Kyurem per se, then he's probably just going to outrun me in this prize race. He just needs to knock out this Genesect and then one more EX Pokemon and he'll win. So I need to start taking prizes fast, and I can easily take them in 3 shots. Oh, that's a good play here. I'm going to use Shadow Triad to get the Genesect EX back. So now I have one on my field again. Hopefully I can start attaching energies to it now. Yeah, there's 1 energy. And... it's probably not. Oh, looks like I'm going to retreat. Most likely, I have a catcher in my hand, and I'm going to bring up the Keldeo. That is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock out the Keldeo, take 2 prizes, and then power up this new Genesect. Now I have 2 Genesects powered up, so he can't really stop me from taking my prizes this next turn. Knocking out this Absol. So now let's see what Quintin has. I do have a lot of bench Pokemon now, so Mind Jack will do a lot of damage to me, but I don't think it will do enough to knock me out. That's 81. Currently it does 140. Even if he has another Deoxys, that will only be 150. So I think I'm safe for now, but they could end up biting me later. And it looks like I'm deciding what prize to take from Town Map, and it looks like I'm going to take that I take 2 prizes, right? I'm taking the Skyla and a Plasma Energy. Looks like I don't really need another Genesect at this point. I also probably have an energy in my hand, or maybe using that Plasma Energy. It looks like the camera was bumped there. I apologize for that. Hopefully that gets fixed. Does no one notice this? Come on. Ugh. I really need to get a better tripod. My tripod is quite poor, I must say. He's going to catch up this Genesect and use Mind Jack to knock this out. Shame that he had to use a Mind Jack for 140 on a Pokemon that had only 10 HP remaining. But he had no really other choice to take prizes. The question is, what is Quintin going to do for his last few prizes? He's probably going to have to knock out a Genesect, but I can easily just win in 2 turns. As you see, I got the Skyla and the Plasma Energy. So if I could Skyla for the G Booster and then use it Plasma Energy to use Red Signal and bring up a Deoxys to knock it out. So if Quintin does not have an N, then I pretty much have this game locked up. He's just going to use Mind Jack, and then I'm going to be able to knock out a Deoxys. So I'm thinking I have the better board position right now. Even if he doesn't play an N, or even if he does play an N and knock out my even if he does play an N, I can easily knock out both these Absols in a row. And then he'll have to power up a Deoxys, and he'll have to end himself to 2. So then he'll have to draw another way to attack my Genesect and finish it off, which is probably not going to be very likely, unless he already has the supplies in his hand, which something tells me he doesn't. That could be, if he does have those, I think he will be able to take this game, but obviously if not, I don't see much of a way for Quintin to win this. Looks like I'm just going to use Megalo Cannon. I just put the 20 on the Deoxys, and now I'm taking my prizes. Let's see what I'm going to take here. Looks like the Verbank. I haven't actually really used lasers to much effect in this game. I used it on a Kyurem once, and then it got knocked out by a Megalo Cannon, which didn't really matter, because I already had 50 damage on it. So lasers haven't been too impactful, but it looks like I'm already staying afloat. And he plays a Colress, so I'm not sure of a way of for Quintin to win this game now. He might, if he plays a Scramble Switch. No, not even that. He has these. Even if he had a Scramble Switch, he has that Blend Energy with the Psychic and Dark types on it, which cannot help cure him. So really, I think I just have this game locked up. I have the Plasma Energy. I took for my prizes as well as the Skyla to get G Booster. So he may be forced to capture the Virizion and hit it with Mind Jack for what is that? I believe it's 130, and then he has to hope I don't have a switch to go along with my Skyla and Plasma Energy or catcher. If I have a catcher or a switch in my hand, that pretty much means I win. But Quintin may not realize this actually. He may think that I don't have those in my hand. He may be assuming that I don't have the win. But if he was paying, let me start over. If he paid attention to what I took from my prizes, he knows that I should have the win at this point. So let's see if Quintin realizes this and has to play a catcher. If not, then it looks like he's just going to play Mind Jack. He may not have the catcher at all, which is would be bad for him. We're counting the Mind Jack damage. I think it's 130. I'm almost positive of that. So, yeah. And it looks like someone just decided to shove their face in the camera for what appears to be no apparent reason. I apologize for that. But I do have the Skylight here, and I'm going to get what looks like is G Booster. I'm going to play catcher and bring up the Deoxys, and that is going to be a game, and this child still has his face in the camera. Why do people not understand this? That they should keep their faces out of cameras. But anyway, I also have the Plasma Energy, so yeah, I pretty much had everything I need to win at that point. Even if he had played catcher to bring up the Virizion, I would have been able to retreat it with the Plasma Energy, and then catcher, and then Skylight for G Booster. So definitely a good game there. It shows that Genesect doesn't need all this fancy stuff like Drift Blims or even Colress machines to win these games. It's a very powerful deck in a lot of ways. The Absol may not have been the best attacker in that situation. He may have wanted to use Kyurem since it has more HP, but if that happened, he may not have had the energy to use the attack. So definitely a good game. Hope you enjoyed this. This is just a best of 1 this time, not a best of 3. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for more battle videos in the future. Later.